Donald Trump and Jeb Bush both appearing on the program yesterday, and neither pulling any punches. Trump went after Ted Cruz while Jeb saved his harshest commentary for Trump. Watch this.
Ted Cruz he's got a mental problem. Ted Cruz is a liar. He's got a problem, but he's a liar. I've never seen anybody to that extent.
Looks like Donald's trying to use his business tactics of suing everybody to get his way to the political sphere, which is kind of not going to work.
All right, we enjoyed having Jeb Bush and Donald Trump on the show yesterday. We bring in South Carolina Congressman right now, Mick Mulvaney. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Maria, thanks for having me back.
When you look at, well, I know this morning you're in North Carolina, but when you look at the South Carolina voters going into the primary on Saturday, give us your sense of what's most important to them and how this plays out.
Yeah, I'm just north of the border now in Charlotte, but I spent the whole week in South Carolina. I've been traveling the state, meeting with as many of the candidates as I can, because I'm like a lot of South Carolinians right now. I'm an undecided voter, and that's really the story that I think is not getting out there. Yes, I think Trump is probably in first place, and the smart money would have him winning on Saturday, but almost everybody I talked to, Maria, I mean, random people at events for Ben Carson and Marco Rubio and even Donald Trump, folks are telling me they haven't made up their minds yet. So I think that Saturday is far from a foregone conclusion. Yes, the smart money's on Trump, but a lot of folks just haven't made up their mind yet.
Yeah, and I know that you were endorsing Rand Paul. So do you have a new, do you have somebody new that you're supporting right now?
No, I just went to a Ted Cruz event yesterday, hoping to see Mr. Bush today and maybe Mr. Kasich. I think that would cover just about everybody. But no, I'm undecided, and my guess is a lot of South Carolinians won't make that decision until they walk into the booth on Saturday. Terry
Duffy is here, president at the CME Group. Terry, what do you think in terms of what business wants right now for this election?
I think business just wants to have an administration with people that have experience so the country can continue to flourish. It's so much not either party or the leader. It's really the people that the president brings in to help guide the administration and the country along. But right now, when you watch some of the rhetoric on both sides of the aisle, it's kind of really confusing, to the congressman's point, of who are you going to support. On the Republican side, it's been nothing more than a reality show, not to have a pun of Donald Trump's show, but it's been a reality show. And on the other side, I think it's just mind-boggling to think that Hillary Clinton's only 2 points ahead of Bernie Sanders right now. You know, he's absolutely a socialist, and that is what it is. But I think this country, to go down that path and be so close, is just mind-boggling.
Can I ask the congressman a quick question? Who do you think Governor Haley is going to endorse, if anybody, prior to the election on Saturday?
Yeah, my guess is, here we are, I think today is Wednesday, if I've kept track properly. My guess is it's probably too late for her to endorse anybody. If she were going to do it, she probably would have done it by now. And again, she may be undecided herself. People have asked me, Mick, who are you going to endorse now that Rand's out of the race? It's sort of hard for you to endorse somebody when you don't know who you're voting for yourself, and maybe Nikki's in the same boat as an individual, in addition to a role as being governor.
Congressman, it's Terry Duffy from the CME Group. You didn't mention Marco Rubio. You didn't talk much about him. And to me, it seems like he is very polished when he's up there on the debate stage. Maybe he's too scripted or not, but anyway, he looks presidential, for a lack of a better term, right now when you look at the people up on the debate stage.
Yeah, actually, I did have a chance to go to a Marco event in Rock Hill, South Carolina on Monday. Spent about 15 minutes after him, talking with him and my friend Trey Gowdy. He was great. He was great. It was old-fashioned retail politics. He had a group of about 400 people, took questions at random from the crowd, did a really, really good job. A lot of these men and women, Carly, when she was here, are really, really good at the old-fashioned politics. So, no, Marco's doing fine. I just don't know where it's going to fall out. My guess, if I had to guess, it's Trump first in South Carolina, with just a bitter battle for second place between Cruz and Rubio.
Do you think it'll come down to retail politics like we used to see in the old days, or do you think it'll be more commercialized?
Yeah, I really do. I got 6 pieces of mail at my house on Saturday from various candidates. We threw them all away. The ads on TV have gotten to the point now where there's such a diminishing marginal return that no one's paying any attention to it. South Carolinians, are like Iowans and New Hampshireans, are going out and they want to look the people in the eye and see who they decide for themselves is telling the truth. And my guess is, yes, old-fashioned retail politics will prevail at the end of the day.
Sagan.
Congressman, the President Bush, 43, beloved in South Carolina, did it hurt Donald Trump? And if it didn't, why not? Him calling the former president a liar and blaming 9/11 on him.
Clearly, it didn't hurt Donald Trump, and what I think you've really seen now is that South Carolina is a bellwether for the rest of the country. It's one of the reasons that we've maintained this first in the South primary state is that this is no longer the establishment. We stopped being establishment in 2010. Again, they did not vote for Mitt Romney in 2012. We gave the election to Newt Gingrich. And as beloved as George W. Bush is in the state, and he really is, this state is really leading the country away from the establishment. And that's why you're seeing his visit, George Bush's visit here, be ineffective. I think that Mr. Bush may finish as low as 5th. Governor Bush may finish as low as 5th on Saturday, and that may well be the end of his campaign.
Congressman, before you go, what about the Justice Scalia situation? I mean, you're coming from the conservative end of the party. Who do you want to see a replacement for Justice Scalia?
Yeah, any name that I would come up with that I would like obviously wouldn't get nominated. I think the interesting thing would be whether or not the president picks somebody who is so far to the left that he knows won't get confirmed, or does he try and find somebody who might have some bipartisan support. That would be very interesting to see, both politically and from a jurisprudence perspective. I'll be curious to see what the president does. I don't have any insight one way or the other. And stunningly, the Senate hasn't asked us because the Senate doesn't care what the House thinks about Supreme Court nominees.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, do you think that there are people out there, though, that the president might nominate that are so clearly, you know, good for the job that he wants people to say, look, the Senate is not doing its job by delaying?
Yeah, here's the risk that he runs if he does that, is that's the Bork situation, right? That was Judge Bork from many decades ago. It was clearly the most qualified person for the job, and still was not able to get confirmed by the Senate. So I think the president does face some hurdles if he tries that. I don't pretend to understand exactly what's going to happen, and anybody who does tell you they know what's going to happen is probably lying to you.
Congressman, good to have you on the show today. Thanks so much. Congressman Mulvaney there. Coming up.